Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Flex and Reflect Sunday Sit Down. It's a little bit cold today, so I'm inside in the office. So let's tear into the questions. I'm going to answer 7 questions today, however long that takes, hopefully within the 15 to 20-minute mark. So if this is the first time you're listening, this is a weekly segment where I sit down and I answer the questions that have either been sent in from around the world, asked by my clients, and so forth. So I could go for hours and hours, but we're trying to keep it to anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes. So, first question, how do you use visualization techniques to enhance your motivation and achieve your goals? Well, it's a good question. I think one of the keys to success in anything is you've got to be able to see it in your mind's eye, if you like. So imagine if you close your eyes and you can imagine you in its simplest form, you crossing the finishing line first, you hitting that winning point, kicking that winning goal, whatever context you want to, winning that deal in business and so forth. You've got to be able to see yourself doing it, because if you can't, then the chances of you achieving it, it's not just going to happen by mistake. It only happens by the purposeful plan that you put in place. So what I tend to do, and obviously we're talking like high level there, crossing the finish line, winning the gold medal. Most people aren't going to be in that sort of position. But how do you take that visualization? Struggling with that word today, and implement it into your own daily life? Well, so if I use this example, I do speaking like around the world. I'm on stages. I can be put on stage in, like an instant. I can be called out of the audience watching of an event my coach is putting on, and I have to go up on stage. And it's like I'm able to do that because I've practiced and practiced and practiced. But there are also those times when I can remember the very first time back in 2018. It was the first celebrity that I met, A-list celebrity, and I had to interview Brooke Shields on stage in front of 2,500 people. And I realized that, like, I've been on stage before, like doing different things, and I know what it's like being on stage. It's really perhaps not what you would think, because most of the time you're in the audience looking at a stage and you can see, everything. But when you're on stage, you can't see anything really when you're looking out, because the lights are on you. They're so bright so people can see you, and you can't see the back of the room. It's hard to see the people, etc. You might see the first one or two rows. And I can remember before that, I was visualizing in my mind, okay, what am I going to wear? What am I going to ask? Where is my eye contact going to be? What am I going to do with my feet? How am I going to look on stage? Like, am I going to cross my leg? I'm not a leg crosser. So what am I going to do with my legs? What am I going to do with my hands? And visualizing every step of that to really understand how to do it effectively. So then when the moment came, or another part of it was being, am I going to get so nervous that I can't remember the question or questions? And I would just visualize it in my mind over and over and over. So by the time that it came to do it, I'd already done it. And it was a case of, okay, now you're in the moment, and bang, you go do it. So really it's about practicing, practicing, practicing. If I bring it back to, say, my workouts, say I'm about to lift a weight that I haven't lifted before, or it's a heavier weight and I've warmed up. If you're not in the moment and you can't see yourself lifting the weight, you won't, right? Particularly if it's like a personal best. You've never lifted this, pardon me, weight before. If you cannot see yourself doing it, then you won't do it, right? So you've got to be able to see yourself doing it. And the other question was about the motivation. For me, if I can see myself doing things, it creates this belief in myself that I'm able to do it. And if I see in my mind that I'm doing it, then that obviously inspires me and motivates me to be able to do it. So it's a really, really important step. Now, some people will say to me, "Oh, I'm not visual, I'm not visual." Well, I would say that that's not trying hard enough, because everybody is visual in terms of if you close your eyes and I ask you to describe a lemon, for instance, you can all do it. I doubt there's anyone watching this that doesn't know what a lemon is, or describe its flavor. People can do it. I say, okay, close your eyes, describe what color is it, that you can see. Can you see it? What is it growing on? Well, it's growing on a tree. Okay. Now I want you to imagine you pick it. Now, tell me, keep your eyes closed. What does it feel like? What color is it? What shape is it? What's it feel like? What's it smell like? Let's cut it open. Describe to me what that smell is like. What does it taste like? And you can do that because you've done it before and you can see it as I'm describing it. So that's a very, very simple example. But if you think about the goals that you want to achieve, then if you can see yourself doing it and you can find a way to visualize the success and the steps, then you'll be more likely to achieve it. Honestly, the people that tell me that, oh, I'm not visual, I'm not visual. Normally the people that are not successful. So try harder. You can do it. All right, next question. How do you incorporate superfoods into your diet and what benefits have you noticed? Look, honestly, um, from time to time, you'll see an article or something that talks about this new superfood. It's a berry that's coming out of the Amazon jungle that's never been discovered, and it does this and that and the other. Honestly, I think we can really simplify things a lot. I mean, to me, something like broccoli is a superfood. A carrot can be a superfood. Like all of these natural plant-based foods that we have, an egg, like incredible amount of nutrient value in an egg. The same with a banana. There's a lot of nutrient and mineral benefits from the plant food that we have around us. If you consider that it's something like in Australia, it's something like 85% of adults do not eat the recommended daily intake of vegetables, plant-based food. So forget about trying to ingest your superfoods. Just try and eat more nutritious food, more plant-based food, and it will make you feel better. So I think, look, try not to focus on that so much. Focus on, as in the superfoods, focus on just getting more plant food into your daily diet. It's not about becoming a vegetarian or vegan. It's just getting more serves of it. 5 to 7 serves of vegetables a day for adults. That's really what we're talking about. What's a serve? Go with a cupful, right? Get that in every single day, right? You'll perform better. You'll be less bloated. You will get better results. Your health will improve dramatically. So just focus on that part of it. Don't worry about the superfoods so much. And the benefit that I've noticed is with increasing the amount of plant-based food that I'd eaten, this is probably going back over 10 years now, it definitely makes a noticeable difference to all of the elements of health and wellness for me. Like it cleans you from the inside out. You got more fiber into your diet. And like if I'm living a healthier life, to me, all that fiber, it fills me for longer. It means that I am less likely to go for, say, something that's less nutritionally balanced for me. It means that I'm less bloated. It means that my metabolism is higher. It means the aesthetics of my body are better. I focus better. I'm more energized. I get more done. So they're all linked like that. Next question. What role does hydration play in your overall wellness, and how do you ensure you stay properly hydrated? Well, so hydration is super, super important. So many people do not, like the plant-based food, do not drink enough water. The average adult, from the data that I see here in Australia, should be consuming around 2.6 liters a day. Now, I'm probably a little bit more active than perhaps most, and I aim for 3 liters. What it does, it's cleansing you from the inside out. You're flushing all the toxins out of your body. Your skin will be healthier. You just feel so much better. And that, again, combined with the fiber, keeps you fuller for longer. So imagine that if this is the food that's in your tummy, the fibrous food. When you drink liquid, it's like a sponge. So imagine that if you've got this mass in your tummy, imagine your tummy's empty, you're really hungry, you're craving sugar, etc. Now we've got a lot of fiber in there. So it's like this. Now, as we drink water, imagine that 2 to 3 times that size in your tummy, because it absorbs it, is going to keep you fuller for longer. So your blood sugars are more stable. You're less likely to go for the less nutritional choices, and you're just performing way, way better. And you've got to do it consistently. Like we're breathing in toxins all the time. It helps flush all of that out. It's also shown to be a fat mobilizer as well. So there are so many different benefits. And I didn't used to track it. Now I do. I have like a 2.2 liter, like little keg, I suppose. And one of my drink bottles gives me 3 liters a day. And I just consistently do it. So I'm sitting in my office right now. Every time I take my hand off, say my mouse, I grab a sip of water. And that's how I'm able to do it, making sure that I'm at least getting in 1.5 liters or so before my lunchtime. And then I slow it down later in the day because I don't want to be getting up out of bed, going to the loo overnight. So that's the way I do it. Next question. Can you share a fun outdoor workout that can be done with minimal equipment? Yeah, so for the way that I kind of started my business was doing these outdoor boot camps for women. And the most effective one, like we use some equipment like resistance bands and that kind of stuff, but you can do so much just with your body weighted exercises. The ones that I used to find that people loved the most that were, say, set a timer like on your phone or whatever. And if you think about this, go with, it depends on your fitness level, but something like this. If you set a timer for, like, yeah, we're working in minute increments, but we're going to work for 45 seconds and then 15 seconds rest. Set the time for however long you want to do it. Say, maybe if you're just starting out, maybe do 3 minutes. So you're going to do 3 exercises, pick one exercise. You're going to do it for 45 seconds. Get 15 seconds, grab a drink, get your breath back a little bit, and go into the next one straight away. What it means is the workout will be over based on time rather than your energy. You work at a pace that you can work at. If there's a couple of you working out, then some people might be doing, one or two less reps than you, maybe more than that, and that's fine. But you can work at your intensity. Think about just simple things like crunches. Don't do a full sit up because not everybody can do that. Focus on crunches. Maybe some push-ups on your knees, push-ups next to a wall or something like that, something elevated. If you can't do them on your knees, do them on your toes. Think about things like squat to a depth where there's no joint pain, that kind of stuff. One of the other things you could do is like some back extensions. Just Google what that looks like. You just need a mat and just do those 4 exercises. And sort of go from there. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's going for a jog. Like if you set the timer for, like we used to do it in a park that was like there was a concrete path that went around, like, imagine like an oval, and you could walk really fast for, say, 20 seconds, and then just walk slower for 10. Walk fast for 20, walk slower for 10. So like a Tabata style, which is normally 8 rounds of that. And just have some fun. Google some different body weighted exercise that you can do, but do it for time, and you do it based on the time that you want to be working out. Have a little bit of a break, go again. It's really, really effective. Another one that I used to like doing, actually, just on that, use a deck of cards, come up with an exercise for each of the like your what do you call them, the suits, the hearts, clubs, spades, etc. So let's just say that I'm going to use burpees. Let's just say that burpees, you can do them on the ground or do them on a wall. Say that burpees was the one for hearts, and the 10 came up, it's 10 burpees. You get an 8 come up, 8 burpees, etc. Spades, maybe do push-ups. Diamonds, maybe do some crunches. Find different things. And aces, I used to do like some cardio type stuff, for set a timer, pick a time, say it's a minute of, say, some mountain climbers, or going for a jog, or going for a fast walk, or whatever it is that you want to do. Shuffle up the deck and just pull out a card and determine whether you're going to go through the whole deck. You're going to go through, just for time. And I used to have a lot of fun doing those in a group. So yeah. All right. Next one. What is a unique habit or ritual you practice that has significantly contributed to your personal growth? Okay, good question. One of the things that I do is today's Sunday. I do this every Sunday, and the task that I do now is once a week I sit down and I plan out what are the key outcomes that I want to achieve for the next week. I look at those transactional things that I need to do. So transactional, I'm talking about, say, I need to, so like this week as an example, I had to make an appointment to go and have a flu shot. I had to go and have my annual skin checks and so forth, because I do that once a year. So that, to me, that's transactional. Transformational things are the big things that I look at. What can I be doing over this next week that's going to transform me? So one of the things that I've been working on is say different versions, lengths of a video biography of me. It's been something I've been trying to do for years. I've never really dedicated the time to it, and so that's something that I'm doing. Why is it transformational? Because it's going to, but like I can use it for like as I'm being introduced, for instance, if I'm going to be on stage and speaking, that kind of stuff, like a short, like a 90-second version, something like that. If I can use it ongoing in my marketing for the promotion of me, for my business and for my personal brand moving forward. So for me, they're transformational things. A marketing campaign, that's a business transformational thing for me. So I work out every Sunday, what are those key things? What do I want to have completed by this time next week? And then I also look at what are the things that I said, say last week, same thing that I should have done by this week. What can I learn? What did I do? What can I do? Pardon me. What can I do better? What can I do more effectively? Because I've got this mindset of how do I continue to get better every single day? So that's one of the tasks. And then I look at my schedule and I block out time in my schedule through the week to do those things, because if you don't schedule it, it won't get done. Now, I just keep that in Apple Notes so that I've got it on my phone. It doesn't matter where I am. I've just always got access to it. And that's both my schedule as well as my key outcomes, the transactional and transformational things. And I find that really helps me. Now, a key part of my transformational work is what do I need to do every single day, the work that I do with my coach every single day. Sometimes that's talking to my coach, doing work with my coach, like in like a virtual sense, or it is doing like listening to one of his podcasts, doing one of his programs. So I'm working like he's on the screen or whatever, or in my ear, and I'm writing notes. I'm learning. I'm reading a book or something. Most of the work I do is normally working with my coach in one of his programs, writing notes and saying, okay, how do I now implement that? Now I do that 7 days a week. And that's been a big change for me. Shifted my thinking from 5 days, Monday to Friday, to now just 7 days. And they're the key things that I do. And that's been truly, truly transformational for me. So good question. What new fitness trends or methodologies are you excited about, and how are you planning to incorporate them into your practice? Well, look, honestly, I think depends where you are in terms of, say, sport and high performance there, because there is so much in, if you look at some of the best sporting clubs around the world, whether it be your soccer, or here in Australia, for instance, a lot of the AFL clubs have invested a lot into their gym equipment and different technologies. The NFL, the NBA's like massive, massive amounts of dollars there. If you want to get an insight into some of this, if you watch the show Quarterback on season 1 on Netflix, if you have a look at some of Pat Mahomes' training programs with his trainer, you can see them use some different equipment in there, which is obviously very sport specific, and it can measure power and things like that. I've seen some. I've never actually been in the room seeing this, this stuff in use. The only things I've seen is like sporting clubs use this type of thing, which depending on the sport, it can obviously tell you, like throwing, for instance, it can give you an indication of how much power there is. Jumping, so rather than just estimating, you can do it with almost with laser-like precision and certain things like like there's strength, which you can tell by, okay, well, how much can you do in a leg press, how much can you do in a bench press and stuff. But then there's that power part of it, which is that speed of pushing up, which you can get some really strong measures. So everybody's probably seen, on Instagram or whatever, you have these guys where they're punching a bag to tell you what's the power of that punch. It's that kind of technology for power. There's a lot of stuff around that, but of course, that's only accessible to people that are working with these clubs. For most of us, what I tend to use is um, I'm I use ChatGPT to have a look at the latest research and things like that and see what it can tell me around certain things, certain studies that might come out. I do use it to help me with, say clients that have certain conditions that I don't know, because I'm not a doctor, that I don't know a lot about, and I'll play around with that, asking a bunch of questions to learn more about different conditions and say, okay, well, what are the best exercises perhaps for somebody that's suffering that? Do we need to avoid this? Is this better, etc.? That can then help me have a conversation with their doctor or the person that they're working with, their surgeons, and that kind of stuff. But I think also, to a big extent, most people that I work with are just everyday, like mums, dads, and humans, and they're not these high performing athletes. So a lot of the things that we need to be doing will never change. Like, we need to do some strength training. We need to eat the right types of foods and the right amount of protein and get our headspace right. So to me, they're the things that we need to focus on and not overcomplicate our lives by saying, oh, wow, I need access to $1 million worth of equipment and that kind of stuff. No, you don't. You just need to focus on the not the latest fitness trend, because there's going to be no fitness trend that comes out that's going to uh, significantly take you from where you are to where it is that you want to be. People are always looking for a shortcut, but the bottom line is the key to success is never, in any area, is never going to be like that. It's only truly going to come from doing the sensible things that are right for your body, that are healthy for you, that are going to make you stronger, that are going to make you healthier through your food. You're never going to get it all through a pill, because that's just going to cause you other types of issues where our bodies are designed to process healthy foods and get our what we need from our foods, not from injections and things like that. That might keep you alive, but that's not going to optimize your wellness. And it's the same with your exercise. You can't outsource somebody to do your strength training, right? You can't outsource somebody to do your cardio. You have to do the work, and you have to do it consistently for the rest of your life. So there's not going to be this new workout that comes along. It's going to, wow, that's going to drastically change it, or a new piece of equipment that's going to do that. You still got to do the work. You still got to sweat. You still got to get that burn. You got to hurt in a muscle sense, safely. I'm not talking about tearing and causing damage in joints and that kind of stuff. So I think in asking that question, don't try and find a quick solution. We've still got to lift the weights and do those things. All right, last question. How has your perspective on health and fitness evolved over the years, and what key experiences influenced this change? Right. So probably the single biggest change when I first started 36 years ago, it was about aesthetics and to build my self-confidence. And I wanted to feel good about me. I was a small man, and I wanted to build bigger muscles. I knew I couldn't get taller. I'm only 5'5", and I wanted to get bigger in terms of broader and bigger muscles, and like bigger chest and arms and legs and stuff, so that I could feel better about myself. But then over time, I realized that as much as that was a good thing for me, really what I started to think about was more the impact it's having on my mental health. And I didn't think about it as mental health back in when I first started. It was just like, it just kept me clear. It kept me focused. I wasn't good at sports and things like that. And I was really drawn to this because I could be successful. And a lot of the things I've done in my life, it's been like it's by myself. So, for instance, I used to play football as a kid, but I never had anyone to kick to. So I'd kick the ball, run down the other end, get the ball, kick it down to the other end, run down, kick, pick up the ball, kick it. It's a bit sad in some ways, but I was never going to be able to play well because I was so little when I was really into the sport. So doing the gym was something that I could do everything and I could do it by myself. And that was really cool. And I loved it. I could never find anyone that was, I guess, as driven as me to train. So I trained with a few people over time, but they would never want to train at the same time. They just say, oh, no, I'm not going today. I was like, oh, do you know what? I'm doing my head in. I'll just train by myself. So, um, as the years went by, I realized that, wow, I just so love this and moved away from my corporate life to do this because I just see the value that it adds to people. Now, as I'm getting older, so I'm 56 in a few months, and I have now put more of a focus into my health. Obviously, the aesthetics part will always be an important part for me, but it's the focusing on my overall well-being and just knowing that, like, there's all these studies that come out every day. There's a new one that, hey, what helps with Alzheimer's is strength training. Well, wow. Okay, I've been doing this for years. I've known all these things. And they say, oh, strength training helps with heart disease, helps with diabetes, helps with this, helps with that. Yeah, go figure. Having a healthy lifestyle helps with all of these things. Yeah, wow. What a surprise. I've known all these things. And so I know that doing the things that I do lead me to the best version of myself and the healthiest version of myself. I don't have a strong family tree when it comes to longevity and being like disease and illness free. And so that's more front of my mind the older I get, and saying, you know what, I've got to double down on some of these things, or stay double down. So it's not like I haven't been. But the older they get, I'm just like, okay, do you know what? I need to just make sure that I'm flooding my body with nutrients. I keep up my regime. Things have changed because of like joints and some injuries that I've had over the years with my back and stuff. There are certain things like I can't do back squats anymore. I don't do heavy deadlifts anymore because they're just not good for my knees and my back. So I find other things that I can do that don't put pressure on the joints and keep me still feeling great and strong about what it is that I do. And that's a really important point to remember. And so, the more clients that I see and the older that they're getting, I see when you haven't done what I've done and how that now starts to show up in your body, which is usually in a way that the people don't like. And it's like, man, I'm starting to really reap the benefits of having such a focus on my health and wellness for so long. So it's really impacted that. I think, losing my daughter over a year ago has also made me think about how important it is for my own health and wellness, my mental health as well, to have this lifestyle and to deal with her and live my life the best that I can as a legacy to her, and also to be around as long as possible I can for my other daughter, because I want to be able to be there for her. And that means that, well, if that means I've got to triple down on my health now to be around for longer for her, then I will do that because that's important for me. So I think I've gone from more the aesthetics to start with, and the older that I've become, that it's that health aspect that's become really important to me. And then also tying all of that into, I mentioned it before, some of the other big changes is about energy and about focus for me, because I've realized that if I can do more of those, like have more of that, I can do more of everything. I can be more focused for my business, for myself, my family, and do those things. And I do them so much better. And that has helped me be able to work the 7 days a week and work beyond just the Monday to Friday with my business and everything that I do. And I'm just so focused now. So the good news is, it doesn't matter what age you are. Like I am more focused now than I've ever been in my life. I'm more excited about my life than I've ever been ever before, because of what all of these things that I do every day for my lifestyle and my mindset and growing that. And that's the other part, just focusing on every day growing myself every day. And it's hard work. Success is hard. but it's really worth it. So that is it for this week's questions. Thanks, everybody. That was some good ones. And I will see you next week. Have a great week, everybody. I will say, if you do want to connect with me, you can go to, I'll put the link in the description of the video here. But you can go to studiospt.com.au, or you can go to mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com. That's my main podcast. And you can opt in for a free consult there if you need me to help you in any way to help you be the best version of you. See you next time.